My fellow Americans, I want to take a moment to address some of the hateful shit you've been talking about me. Many of you have said I am suffering from brain worms, or that I have applesauce for brains. Well, I won't mince words, so here it is. Fuck you. You're all a bunch of faggots. End of quote. Repeat the line. So enjoy President Cackles or President Booty Juice? I really don't give two fucks anymore. Biden out.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's Too Late with Alan Mosley.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's right. I can't believe he said that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. No wonder.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah.
welcome back
He's
for another
back.
episode of It's Too Late. I am your host, Alan Mosley. Joined as always by the number one producer in late night. It's Dave Willimowski. Dave! Dave, how are you doing?
doing a little bit better. This week we had 4 minutes to spare before we got the show started, so that was nice.
Yeah,
Calm
we
start.
did. That's way better than like -7. So that's pretty good. Well, I mean, sometimes we like to change things. You got to keep it fresh. Got to keep it funky fresh. So you got to change things up a little bit. By change things up, I mean we use OBS, and OBS updated, and they totally changed the UI, and so it's like shit. There's nothing.
A lot of remapping.
Yeah. But you know what, Dave? You did a job.
I did do a job.
You did the job. Yep. So good job of doing
that.
Yeah. Topping off the stories tonight in celebrity news, a mentally ill man named Chris Tyson, popular for his role alongside Jimmy Donaldson, best known as MrBeast, is in hot water this week. Turns out another trans person is a sick pedophile freak. In a statement since allegations of grooming minors emerged, Mr. Tyson tweeted, quote, "I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if I hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and mental health." Do we have a clip of Chris focusing on his mental health?
Oh yeah. Oh
yep, that's it.
There you go.
I'm a mature enough person that I can see a young lady on the street and I can think to myself, oh my, what a pretty girl.
Yeah.
But I don't fuck them,
Yeah, you shouldn't. No.
Yeah. Dave, how come you think it is so hard for some people to just not fuck them?
I feel like there's no good way to answer that.
In social media news, The Atlantic tweeted this out. In the last 3 months, the word faggot has been tweeted 2.6 million times.
Wow.
2.6 million times. Damn, Dave, would you give me a break? I'm doing the best I can.
Those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
I mean, 2.45 of those are at least just me. In congressional news, a literal demon spoke in front of Congress today. Yeah.
Oh,
maybe he can take Chris Tyson back home with him when he goes. And finally this evening, with a single letter posted on X and nowhere else, with a suspicious signature. And it wasn't even on White House stationery. And with his own staff completely in the dark, President Joe Biden has announced he is dropping out of his campaign for re-election. But for days following this sudden and shocking news, President Biden was completely hidden from the public eye, leaving some to wonder if the president was even still alive following his most recent bout with COVID. Allegedly, Biden was seen returning to the White House Tuesday afternoon, though some would hardly call this the first time that Biden appears to have been replaced.
Wow.
Look at those pictures. They're just running out of Bidens is what it is. Not even Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was able to secure a meeting with Biden. But former President Donald Trump offered to meet with Netanyahu in Biden's stead. However, the Prime Minister said he preferred to only meet with the real President of the United States. Trump had this to say in response.
Israel must be wiped off the face of the earth.
Oh my God. It's pretty harsh, Mr. President. Speaking of wiping Israel off the earth, let me tell you about Fox and Sons Coffee. You can find, Fox and Sons Coffee, foxandsons.com. Fans, if it's too late, use promo code ITL for 18% off orders of $34.99 or more. Shipping's free on orders of $40 or more. Wow. You get it online at their website, which is foxandsons.com. I actually have a bag right here. This is the Den Blend Light.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know what? I think because Jews aren't white, I think we should start calling them Den Blend Lights. So anyway, the Den Blend Light Roast is light and blight. I don't think you can say roast and Jews in the same ad. It's going to get you in trouble. Thank God I always follow the advice from Fox and Sons Coffee, which says, don't be scared.
No.
No, sir, Bob. That's Fox and Sons Coffee. You can find it foxandsons.com. Use promo code ITL. Guys, we're going to be back with the meme of the week and the viewer mail right after this commercial break. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Hey, Dave.
Yes, Alan.
What time is it?
Time for meme of the week.
I feel like with each week, Dave thinks more and more about what he's going to do, after the show. And I don't mean tonight, I mean after,
Yeah.
But we do have a bonus meme. Check out the bonus meme.
Watch my 9mm go.
Oh my God. Women have to be stopped.
Yeah. Somebody
Yeah.
has to stop them.
The 19th Amendment was a mistake. Let me tell you about tonight's other sponsor, which is the Tennessee Hot Sauce Company, which you can find at tnhotsauceco.com. Use promo code It's Too Late, all one word. You get 10% off your entire order.
Nice.
And I know what you're thinking. Right now you're thinking, wait a minute. Of course, when I say what you're thinking, I mean what Steve Fox is thinking, is wait a minute. I got called an anti-Semite, but
Yeah.
Danny just gets called like a misogynist. Like he comes after the woman hating meme, but Steve has to come after,
Yeah.
But it's just the way, it's just the way the cookie crumbles,
Ridiculous.
Hold on. I actually have, this is my favorite. This is the garlic habanero. Can we get a shot of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Bring that in. Oh.
You know how
The
the
habanero.
YouTubers, they always do the...
Oh, that's your clickbait. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet Chris Tyson would do that. So anyway, you can find that at Fox and Son. Not Fox. It's TennesseeHotSauceCo.com. Use promo code It's Too Late. I'm still thinking about poor Steve and how he's going to be dropping us as a sponsor pretty soon.
Yeah, that sucks.
But yeah. How are we doing on? Oh God, we're doing great on time. This is amazing. Well, that means we can answer all the viewer mail.
All right.
I might even answer Justin's multiple questions because he got upset that I kept telling him his questions were shitty. So, all right. Justin writes a lot, and he wrote, "Dear Alan and Dave, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?" So I told him this was a shitty question because A, this has been done a million times, including on the show. And B, it would have to be 100 duck-sized horses, right? Because like when I feel like when you say would you rather fight, you're not like getting weapons and armor. You're just coming across it on the street.
They're attacking you.
A horse-sized duck intent on hurting you.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah. Horses are big and ducks are mean. And when you bring those together, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I would say 100. Okay. All right. Justin also writes, "Dear Alan and Dave, are you prepared to become all that you can be, unburdened by what you have been?" I got unburdened by what I had been like a couple of Januaries ago. You're trying to avoid that fate. How's that coming along?
To avoid being unburdened. No, yeah, I'm super burdened. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah. He's Polish, for God's sakes. He didn't even notice that he's being burdened. He just kind of goes on.
Yeah.
And finally, the last one, Justin writes, Dear Alan and Dave, what is your favorite humanoid animal characters, such as Battletoads, Biker Mice from Mars, the Ninja Turtles, Cowboys of Moo Mesa, the Street Sharks, or another one that I missed? So, humanoid animal characters.
Whoa. I can't really think of anything outside of his list. With that, I would go with definitely Ninja Turtles, man. That was like the highlight of my prime time. Yeah,
the Ninja Turtles, I mean, like that's what I grew up with. I had all the turtle stuff. I had all the action figures. I even had like the sewer lair.
No kidding.
Yeah, I had the sewer lair. Is sick, dude. And
you did have an okay childhood.
And the turtle mobile that actually had like a little launcher that shot pizzas, which I never really understood, because there's a lot of times I come home late from work and I think, man, I wish somebody would drive by and shoot me with a pizza.
Yeah.
Like, what is that really doing to the Foot Clan?
Maybe you need to become the change that you want to see in the world.
You know, I read recently that somebody said that if you're like say for instance, you're in the dating market and you have an idea in your head of the type of partner you want to find, the first thing you should do is try to become that person so that you will then attract those people.
Oh.
And I thought, damn, I'm going to die alone.
Yeah. Or be miserable.
Yeah, because I'm not going to do any of that shit. You kidding me? Yeah, that's stupid. All right, so anyway, I hope this helps, Justin.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you... All right. I mean...
Looking for help.
I mean, it is Ninja Turtles, come on.
Yeah.
Brooke Atkinson writes, Dear Alan and Dave, you are offered the job of U.S. President. Do you accept or decline? Why or why not? Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I would absolutely take the position of President of the United States, because I would use my very short term to kill as many of my enemies as possible.
Can you do that as president?
What kind of stupid question is that?
Okay, yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah, they're doing it too. Come on. So I would do that. Like, dude, I would paint the streets of DC red. Oh, they would get me out of there if it was the last thing they do.
So they attack helicopters start coming in.
Yeah, and they wouldn't just be getting my account suspended either. All right.
Get you out of here.
Aaron Kittner writes, Dear Alan and Dave, we are approaching the dog days of summer. How do you beat the heat? See, Aaron finally understands what the goddamn viewer mail is for. It's supposed to be, just be a fun, lighthearted, personal question. Oh, I've always been curious about this, Alan and Dave. What are your thoughts on this? Dave, what's your favorite this? Aaron gets it.
Good job, Aaron.
Gets it. Yeah, good job, Aaron. Though, honestly, you may have a different opinion on this, because I know for us, our opinion of what heat is a very different thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like you will agree with me, though, even though we have very different views on heat, which is you just got to embrace it.
Oh, yeah.
Just embrace the struggle.
Like if I'm at work or something and I have no choice but be in the heat. Yeah, if you struggle against it, you just aggravate it. You might as well just embrace the sweat.
Yeah, just let it happen. Mm-hmm. That is good advice.
Yeah.
So there is some conflicting viewpoints on this show, I think, so far between the monologue. Okay. Yeah. Jonathan Carranza writes, Dear Alan and Dave, who is your favorite historically significant person? Now, that's a loaded question, because who's a historically significant person? Because someone that you think perhaps is historically significant, I would think is not very historically significant.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was going to say Bob Ross.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's your favorite historically significant person?
That's the first one to come to mind. I don't know. I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about it.
Yeah. I've never accused you of that. I want you to know. Wow. I'm speechless. I wasn't expecting that as an answer. I would say Robert E. Lee.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much the same kind of person as Bob Ross, I would say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same vibe.
Don't say vibe. You're like a 40-something-year-old man, for God's sakes. Don't say vibe.
No, they're almost done with these words. We're allowed to use them now.
They're almost... All right.
Yeah, they've moved on.
See, Ryan Seifert writes, Dear Alan and Dave, if DEI hire is the new N-word, does that mean DEI hires don't have dads?
Oh, come on.
I bet Ryan loved the meme of the week. Okay, so I'm going to use Ryan's faux pas, if you will, to kind of change the subject here for a second. It is true. Tell me what sense this makes. On the one hand, the leftists think that it's good to have DEI hires. Like, they want to hire people based on things other than meritocracy. On the other hand, they think that actually calling someone a DEI hire is a slur. That's a negative thing. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it's like that whole Lizzo's beautiful thing until you tell a girl she looks like Lizzo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've seen a bunch of girls that look like Lizzo recently. I tell you.
You didn't tell them, did you?
Oh, yeah, I do. I tell them. Yeah. I mean, I didn't tell them they look like Lizzo, but I mean,
Oh.
Yeah, I just told them they were gross. Yeah. Just idiots. You know what else, since we're on that subject? There is no such thing as a BBW.
Oh.
Being morbidly obese is not attractive. That's sad.
I think it's like the line, like where you go from morbidly obese. Like a BBW might be not what people are calling themselves, you know?
No, they're just gross and fat. So yeah. Like, I guess what my question would be, like, if you're wondering where someone falls on the scale, I would propose to you, which of these two things is more likely? That they can successfully complete a pole vault, or that they lose a foot to diabetes? And answer truthfully.
Wow.
Answer truthfully, Dave.
Yeah.
And if it's the second, they're fat.
Yeah. All right. That's
okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's just the inner workings of my mind when I'm scrolling. You can't pole vault, you fat fuck, and I just keep.
Well, I mean, as long as they're closer to pole vaulting than losing a foot, you know.
Yeah, if you're closer to pole vaulting than losing a foot to diabetes, then that's a right.
Yeah.
But if they're I meant to ask you this.
The question?
I don't even remember what the question was. I meant to ask you this the other day. Has there been any instances recently where, like, we just got done wrapping the show and we're just kind of just, finishing up, making sure that everything's uploaded, and you and I are shutting everything down. Has there been any nights recently where you're like, all right, man, see you next week, and we shut the studio down and you get ready to head out and you think to yourself, what happened to this show?
Yeah. Every time, man.
I've been thinking it more and more. But I can't decide if what happened to the show in a good way or in a bad way. Like, sometimes we do an episode and I think, man, what happened to this show? And other times we do an episode and I think, man, what happened to this show?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Taco Bell and Taco Bell. Like, I can't even force myself to say it wrong. It's just there's just correct and wrong. Yeah. I don't know, man.
All right.
Also, like, all the tattoos and the piercings, like,
yeah, I don't like them at all.
What's the deal with the piercing where when they smile, there's like metal up there? There's like,
That's just for your dentist, huh?
Yeah, that's
weird.
I mean, it ain't for me. I don't want the teeth involved,
No.
so I don't. This can't be
No.
helpful. Just
Gonna scrape off your enamel.
yeah. Well, I'm glad that you keep a level head when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
It's just practical. There's
Gotta stay logical.
yeah.
Same with those tongue rings. Those mess up your teeth too. You don't want that.
Let's not get too hasty with those. But,
All right.
well, like it's one thing to have like a stud like in your nose, but it's another thing to have like the ring like that they put on
Yeah,
bulls. Like those are meant to pacify animals. You know? Is that what? Is that?
Maybe they serve a purpose.
Yeah. Just feel like you'd get it caught on something, and then
Oh,
I don't know. What was the question?
I think it was DEI hires.
Yes. So I would say that there is probably a statistical preponderance of DEI hires having less two-parent households than meritocracy. Just Mhm. I would be willing to put money on that. All right.
All right.
Internet Rando writes, Dear Alan and Dave, who do you think Kamala Harris will choose as her VP? We're going to talk about Kamala Harris and one of her potential VP picks in the next segment. And if I had read this question ahead of time, I would have purposely saved it to the end to make that a really bitchin' segue to Desk 2.
Damn.
Unfortunately, we have one more question.
Oh, perfect.
Mary Lynn Wilimowski writes, Dear Alan and Dave.
Uh-oh, she's back.
And you know, and Dave actually pointed this out. It's so lovely that Mary chose as her profile pic on Twitter a picture of her and me.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Isn't that weird?
Hi,
that
Mary.
Weird?
Yeah.
That weird?
Okay. Dear Alan and Dave, what are the first few things you do when you get home from work? Dave, what are the first few things you do when you get home from work?
Usually the first thing, I come home starving. So
Oh, yeah?
I like, for some reason, as soon as I step in the house, I have to eat something just to keep me from being mean. But then lately I've been trying to get myself ready for work the next day so that I don't end up forgetting and then doing it either late at night or early in the morning. So that's usually the first things.
I usually the first thing I do when I come home from work is start work again.
You do?
Yeah. It's kind of bullshit. Like you go to work and you just
and I leave it there.
You just stay working like for frankly an unhealthy amount of time. And then when work is over, that's actually when you panic. Because you're like, oh, there's more, you know. But for me, I get really excited to leave work and then I go home and start working again. Yeah. So, but I'm thankful to have work to do because I love the 10th Amendment Center and I love the work that we do there, and they're great. And I'm not just saying that because Michael Bolton's coming on the show next.
Oh, yeah.
I would even say it if he wasn't.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. All right. So anyway, guys, we're going to be back to talk about Vice President turned DNC nominee Kamala Harris right after this commercial break. Don't go away. Your ad could be playing right now, reaching thousands of potential customers. Sadly, it's not, but it could be. Find out how to be an advertised sponsor for It's Too Late with Alan Mosley. Email us at info@alanmosley.tv.
Wow, that was aggressive.
It kind of was. I don't know. Maybe in the future, you gonna work that out a little bit.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. It's because you're never here when we're talking to the guest. You hate all of our guests.
You won't let me near them.
This is true. It's true. what? Okay, no, hold on a second. I have said that if there was like a really big guest that for some weird reason agreed to come on It's Too Late and you guys wanted to have them, that I would try to facilitate that. And then you've never once taken me up on it.
Oh. Did that happen? See, this is why I'm not allowed around the guests.
Yeah. Well, because I've said that the thing is that I bet some of the guests would come hang out with you guys, but they're not.
I bet they have.
They're not going to at like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
They're gonna want to. They're gonna want to wrap that up a little bit earlier, and then you just kind of do with it whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe also give them an idea of like what to expect. Like what the fuck's a Jackbox game? Like, I don't know. I don't know. What
wearing a chef hat?
I mean, I'm just, that's a lot of fun, but maybe that's not forever. Like Ron Paul might not get why drawing a penis is going to get you more points.
Oh yeah.
Than,
everybody's going to vote for the penis.
Yeah. Then won't it be so weird when Ron Paul's the first one eliminated from the game and then he just logs off? That's going to be super awkward, dude. All right. So longtime watchers of the show will recall all the way back on the Gold Standard, on the old show, we did an episode called Kamala Cop, where we were talking about Kamala Harris. There she is right there. I love, we've been using that picture for like 5 years now. And we did a whole episode about her. And this was all the way back when she had kind of transitioned from just West Coast politics to national politics. It was leading up to when she had run for president in 2020, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. You might actually remember one of her famous tweets that, to my knowledge, she's never actually deleted. There's a tweet that she said about Jussie Smollett. Remember that? Remember the whole Jussie Smollett thing where he said he got attacked and it was MAGA country and all, and that turned out it was a huge fabrication. He went to jail and all that crap. So so she tweets out, Jussie Smollett is one of the kindest, most gentle human beings I know. I'm praying for his quick recovery. This was an attempted modern-day lynching.
Wow.
No one should have to fear for their life because of their sexuality, of color of their skin. We must confront this hate. Yeah, that's a real tweet. So the person who wrote that and then stood by it, even when Smollett's like being incarcerated. The person who, when you see all the jokes and the memes about how she hawk-tua'd her way to the top, those aren't jokes. She literally slept with her superiors in the West Coast to get promotions who were married men. This is not a joke. You can look it up. She also had a fling with Montel Williams, which that's kind of weird.
Wow.
And that's a whole other...
That's another show.
We can do the whole thing. That person has now the same person. Hold on. The same person who has received 0 votes and 0 legitimate delegates in this primary season. Mm-hmm. The same person who in 2020 ran for president. This was going into Trump's re-election campaign. That was after Hillary Clinton had lost in 2016. 2020 comes along. This is the same person who ran for president in 2020, was polling somewhere around 1%, dropped out of the race before the first primary even happened.
That's why I don't remember.
And then only counting her write-in votes from around the country, received a whopping 844. I don't mean in the first primary. I just mean period. Out of a nation of 320 million people.
All right.
That person is now the presumptive Democratic nominee for president of the United States.
Weird how that works.
So people were sharing this video of Gerald Ford, of all people, which obviously, quick disclaimer, Gerald Ford's not exactly the person that you want to be sharing when you're really trying to say, ha, I got you. I'm on the same side as Gerald Ford. But anyway, he was doing like this Q&A in front of like elementary school kids. Obviously not doing the type of Q&A that Chris Tyson would do. But this girl asked him, do you think there will ever be a female president? Mm-hmm. And he answers the question, and he actually answered it very, very deliberately and very candidly. It's almost, it's like it's weird. So, tell me if this makes sense. Do you ever sometimes see like an old clip of the news or an interview? And when I say old, I don't mean in the 2000s or even 90s. I'm talking maybe not even the 80s. It may be like the 70s or back. You'll see like an old, or maybe you'll see like a black and white interview between like some journalist and some public figure, and you're actually blown away by how candid their answers are, because you're like, well, nowadays they just wouldn't even answer that question. It would just would be all bumper sticker slogans and the children are our future and unburdened by what was, and whatever. And he answers the question, and he says, I do think that there will be a female president of the United States someday, but I don't think that they will ever run for president and get elected normally. His prediction was, now this is you can go Google this clip. I'm not making this up. This is him speaking out of his words, out of his mouth. He said that I believe that there will be a male president who will pick a female vice president, and then something's going to happen with the man, and the female vice president will then become the president. Now, that's not exactly what's happened here, because allegedly Biden is still the president of the United States. Now, we all know that he hasn't really been the president this whole time. He hasn't been the one in charge this whole time, but he has been the president this whole time. I should try to be more accurate. And even if he did legitimately get removed and then she became the president because she's the VP, she still wouldn't be the one in charge. She would just be the president. But the question was, would there be a female president? Technically, she's not, but she's been able to kind of leapfrog the process, right? She didn't have to go through a primary where she was getting her ass handed to her by other people on stage. She's had her ass handed to her more than a few times in her life. And, she didn't have to actually win primaries and campaign and all that stuff. She's just been given a free ticket. She's been given a lot of things. And the most recent one is a free nomination for the presidency. We assume they technically haven't had their convention yet, but it certainly seems like that's what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, they're campaigning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a crazy part of it. Is we had mentioned in the monologue how, it's like literally 48 hours later, Biden is literally, I say Biden is tweeting. God knows he's never tweeted in his life.
No.
But the Biden account puts out a tweet under his name that says, basically, I'm in it to win it. I thought I won the debate. I'm going to win the presidency. I'm not dropping out. And then it goes dark for 24 hours. And the next day, there's just a letter with a fake signature.
That was weird.
That's not his signature.
Yeah, you can look at it. Yeah.
And he drops out of the race. And then there's that brief hysteria of, first of all, is this the latest season of Game of Thrones? Did an actual coup d'etat happen in our country? The answer is
believing it.
Kinda, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it was a bloodless coup. Those have happened historically. Yeah. That happened. And I know that there was the weeks leading up to that where the mainstream media spent literally years talking about how Biden was sharp as a tack, and they're going to raise all this money, and he's going to beat Trump again. He's beat him before. He's going to beat him again. And then, everyone gets their new orders, and then all of a sudden it's Biden's old and he can't perform his duties.
They were so surprised.
Yeah. And also too, isn't it wild how he apparently can't run for president anymore, but he can still be president for another 6 months?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. I hope I was going to say I hope that when my time comes, I know that okay, well I can continue on for about 6 months, and then after that I shouldn't make any plans. I actually can because I got my timer. I got 429 days. So me and Biden are really similar in that respect.
Yeah.
But everyone gets their marching orders. He's now unfit. There's obviously the civil war going on between the political elites. Obviously, his side loses. I say his side. So basically, Obama said you're out, and so now he's out. And which, by the way, Obama has not endorsed Kamala yet.
Uh-oh.
Just something. Just file that away in the back of your brain. Of all these people that yesterday said that Kamala can't win the race and she's like not the future of the party, they all got their new orders and now they're all endorsing Kamala Harris. Obama, of all people, has not come out and officially endorsed her yet. Just follow
that more Game of Thrones stuff.
I don't know. Maybe he hates her because she's not really black. I don't know. And he's not really straight. So, so the first question is like, so is this it? Is this what happened? And Biden's out and she's the nominee. Like, there's not going to be anything even remotely resembling a race or a competition. She's just going to be gifted the nomination. It appears so. And then of course, then a lot of people start to wonder out loud, well, does she actually have any chance of winning the race? Because I think the next layer of the onion is are they promoting Kamala because they think that she is the next best chance they have of keeping the White House and defeating Trump? Or have they just resigned themselves that Trump's going to win? You know, we already tried to shoot the motherfucker in the head and he turned at the last second. Yeah, what can you do? Well, it'll look suspicious if we try to shoot him again.
They're going to be watching now.
Yeah, it'll only be suspicious then. So, or have they resigned themselves that they're just going to lose? Trump's going to win this year, but we want to get rid of Kamala, right? Like, we still have this Kamala Harris problem that she's still like in the room saying, "Oh, hey guys, you know, it's me, it's my turn, it's my turn."
Cackle.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I can't do it. There's a lady on Twitter who does a really good Kamala Harris. Oh. I actually had a clip of it, but I didn't have anywhere to put it in the show. I'll share it next week. So if they think that there's basically no chance that they're going to win, so they just concede defeat, but they can run her, and when she loses, they can then say, well, hey, look, you had your chance, right? Yep. We gave you your opportunity to, just like Hillary. Like, Hillary had her chance and she lost. And so it's like, sorry, Miss Clinton, your time is up. You know, we tried, it didn't work out. And then the Clintons lose the party to the Obamas. Same thing here. It's like, well, sorry, Mrs. Harris, we did our best. You had a chance to run for president. You didn't even have to campaign. You didn't even have to go to a primary against anyone. We gave you a free shot at the general election and you lost. So you're out now. So that kind of frees them up from having her saddled on the ticket. The other thing is, a lot of people have pointed out, is there's the whole money angle. There's a lot of like election rules on the state level now. The states have a lot more election rules than there used to be. And there's some questions about who would and wouldn't be on the ballot and who would and wouldn't be allowed on the ballot in the future if they decided to change candidates. And if it were a situation where Biden's the one who won the primary, which, by the way, the Democrats who are the party of democracy, but it's always projection, they're anti-democracy, they didn't hold a legitimate primary. They told Robert F. Kennedy Jr. that you just don't get to run as a Democrat. You're just not going to be on the ballots. You're not going to be in the debates. There are no debates. Biden didn't debate anybody until he debated Trump. There are no debates. It's Biden. Everyone else get fucked. That was straight from the DNC. And that's why RFK is running as an independent, because he's like, well, I've been a Democrat my whole life, and they won't let me run as a Democrat, so I guess I'm an independent now. And so since they didn't have a primary, they essentially have no other legitimate candidates who have any claim at all. Like, look, I was the first one to say that if that bullet had not missed Trump, you better believe at the Republican convention, they would be trying to nominate Nikki Haley. And that would be the worst thing that could possibly happen, is they would give Haley the nomination the same way that they're giving Kamala the nomination. But at least in Haley's case, she did actually run for president, and she actually went to primaries and got some votes. Like, it wasn't a lot, but she did literally show up. Kamala didn't have to do anything. But since they didn't have legitimate primaries, they have no other options. And so since Biden automatically won, even though we could all see that his brains were sliding out of his ears like Jell-O, it turns out that there's all this money that's raised, and it's like, well, the money is tied to this campaign. Biden's going to be the one on the ballot because he's the one that secured the delegates. Well, Kamala is his VP. If he can't run, then those slide down the ticket to the VP. Whereas if they just decided, oh, well, we'll just get Dave. Dave, you're just going to be our candidate. But you weren't on the ticket. You weren't on the ticket. No. You weren't a part of the administration. So all of that, it becomes a lot murkier about the rules and exactly what happens next. So they're kind of stuck. If they want to keep the money and they don't want to have ballot access issues, they're kind of stuck with Kamala Harris because she's on the ticket. She's the VP. So you get how they wound up in the situation and why it is what it is. But the next important question will be, if she's now the president, who will be her vice presidential pick? And I want to talk about a potential one of those right after this commercial break. Don't go away. Tonight's show is proudly sponsored by Fox & Sons Coffee. Fans of It's Too Late use code ITL for 18% off orders of $34.99 or more. Shipping is free on orders of $40 or more. You can find them on their website, which is foxandsons.com. That's foxandsons.com. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm seeing people in the live chat. Ryan says, pick AOC, LOL. Well, at least it would be a younger brown-skinned woman with some fat old titties. But no, it's not going to hurt. But Justin says, booty juice. Justin wins the prize tonight. You win booty juice, apparently.
Oh.
So somebody, we did all these episodes talking about Kamala Harris. Somebody else we talked about around the exact same time that Kamala Harris came onto the national stage, because this person also ran for president back then, was Pete Buttigieg. In fact, I remember learning how to say his name because everyone was like phonetically doing boot edge edge. Boot edge edge. Buttigieg.
Oh.
And so it's Pete Buttigieg. By the way, I'll give him this. If you've ever seen a picture of a young Pete Buttigieg, he looks suspiciously like McLovin.
Oh.
Yeah. A little fatter.
Yeah.
But
pretty close.
Yeah, kind of creepy, to be honest. And so we talked about this guy, too, how when he was running for president himself, and he also polled at nothing and also won nothing. Big shocker there. He, at the time, was running on a platform. He talked about his military service and all this other stuff. And he actually went on record as saying that he believes in slavery.
Oh.
Now, of course, he didn't use the word slavery. He talked about a national, what was it? Like a national, like required service where you have to be a member of either the military or some sort of like national corps, where you like kind of like how they do in Israel, like you have to spend a certain number of years like giving service to the state. And when he said that, we have an article about it if you want to pull that up, Dave. I don't know how many times I can say slavery over and over again before you click the button. So this was actually one of the big points he was making when he was running for president. And listen to this. His reason for supporting this was that it was for unity. He actually said this was explicitly his reason. These were his words. that the way that we can get back to having national unity is essentially go after the kids. Let's get the young people, let's force them into servitude to the state for a certain number of years where they will be forced to get along with each other and work for the government. That was an honest to God policy position that he supported when he was running for president. Damn those Democrats and slavery, am I right? But if you're thinking that I'm exaggerating the whole slavery thing, how's this for a guy? No. He believes it in his heart and soul. This is a guy who literally has purchased children. Yeah.
Oh.
He's literally bought kids. He owns them. Isn't it weird that those people always like buy boys? Isn't it weird?
That's weird.
It sure is weird. So anyway, boy, I tell you, somebody who would be really excited to debate Pete Buttigieg in the VP debates would be J.D. Vance. Am I right?
Are you a faggot?
Oh.
Do you hate vagina?
Wow.
I know, come right out of just swinging right out of the gates. That word has been on this show a lot tonight.
A lot of words. Yeah.
Yeah. And so anyway, to kind of bring all this full circle, because there's so much more that can be said about Kamala. Obviously, there's her record as a prosecutor. Obviously, there's the dirty politics on the West Coast, particularly in San Francisco. Obviously, there's her appealing to race, even though, of course, she's not really black. She's like half Bahamian and half Indian or something.
Oh.
There was also the really funny bit where she was appealing to the black demographic, and so she was doing kind of the whole typical, slavery is bad stuff, because it's so brave in the 2020s to talk about how slavery is bad.
Wow.
Yeah, she's really
Hot
stepping
take.
out. Yeah. And then it turned out that she's actually the descendants of some of the biggest slave traders in the Bahamas.
Oh.
Like her family owned way more slaves than my family. Like a lot. Like a lot more slaves. She probably owes us quite a bit of reparations, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh.
So just throwing that out there. And obviously people bring up the whole thing about the DEI hire. Kamala Harris was obviously herself a DEI hire. She was a DEI hire on the West Coast. She was a DEI hire prosecutor. She was a DEI hire senator. She was she was rated the most liberal senator in her time in Congress. And then that's one of the many things that the mainstream media is trying to scrub for the internet. They're saying, oh no, we never said that, even though the internet's forever. It's amazing that the people who run these massive apparati don't understand that, like, we could just Google it. It's right there. Like, I could see you said it, She was a DEI senator, and then she was a DEI vice president. Funny thing too, that she was the vice president for Joe Biden. I don't know if you remember this, Dave. Do you remember one of her like big hits in the debates was because she was debating Joe Biden. Of course, obviously Joe Biden was the anointed candidate, so he goes on to win the primary that year. But she went on stage because she's talking to the leftists and she's talking to the women. And she says, I hashtag believe all women. And the question was, well, do you believe all women, including like the women who have accused your opponent, Joe Biden, of sexual misconduct? And she said yes. She said she believes that dude has raped a bitch and then agreed to be his vice president. They don't actually believe anything. It's just, what do I have to say to get you to do what I want? That's what it always is with these people. They don't believe anything.
Nope.
Of course, obviously, instead of me going through all those different little points, I think the best way for us to wrap it up tonight is to share a little clip from the debates that we all remember. And it was exactly the reason why Kamala was only polling at 1%. It's because she couldn't even overcome Tulsi fucking Gabbard.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system. that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Burn.
I know. Look, Tulsi herself has got some problems, but damn, she tore that bitch up.
She did.
That right there should have been forever the end of Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
But if we learned anything, it's that DEI doesn't stop. And so now they're saddled with presidential nominee Kamala Harris. Guys, we're going to be back to wrap up the show right after this commercial break. Don't go away.
If you're enjoying tonight's show, consider supporting the program by becoming a member of our Patreon. That's over at patreon.com/Alan Mosley.
Like our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Alan Mosley TV. You can follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/Alan Mosley TV. Subscribe to our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/Alan Mosley TV. Also, if you're more of a listener than a watcher, get us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice thanks to Spotify. It's Too Late with Alan Mosley or Alan Mosley TV.
Oh, the cookie.
Yeah, I opened it and then I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Trust your instincts. They often lead to the most delightful surprises.
Oh.
Delightful certainly is a word.
Yeah, there's a lot of dynamic words.
Yeah, it's... I know with you it would be exciting. That's an exciting surprise. Yeah. What do you think, Dave? Do you have a final thought?
I had to work this week. I had to be engaged the whole time.
Yeah.
Like 3 times as many buttons. It was nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun show. I think we did all right.
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah. I think there was that whole slavery bit in there, but other than that, I think you did pretty good.
Yeah. It didn't feel right at first, and then I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, and then I just keep waiting, and and you just keep looking.
It just keep more and more
your
uncomfortable.
Fucking face is just... And I could see you in the monitor, and I just wish, like, if I did that, and then, like, I've got your head, and then...
Yep.
Yeah. We also got sidetracked there for a little bit in the viewer mail. Ryan triggered me, and I started...
Oh.
Yeah.
That's helpful information.
Ryan says, did you ever see Tulsi's workout video? I did. She does take care of herself.
Right. Good to hear.
It could have been Tulsi AOC, I think. It would be Tulsi AOC versus Lauren Boebert and some other dumb whore on the right. I don't know. I can't even think of another one.
Yeah. Limited pickings.
Yeah, it's slim pickings. Gotta say. I can't think of one. I'm just trying to think of just another, any right-winger that's higher than a 2. Yeah, Gary says Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah, but she's like a -80, so no. Yeah, she's hideous. We're talking about ones that are higher than a 2. So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's definitely Boebert. Boobert. There was that
that lives in Alaska.
She's old as fuck, Dave.
She's old now, huh?
She was old then. She's really old now. There was that one Hispanic chick that like won a runoff and then immediately lost. That's a shame. They should have kept her around. We could use a feisty Latina in Congress that's not AOC.
Not a communist.
Yeah. Like, that's it. It's like, can you just not be a communist? No. Guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of It's Too Late. We will see you next week.
Oh. That was something.
What do you mean,
I'm nervous about this one.
Why? What are you talking about?
Went some places.
I know.
Oh, ran out of music.
No, I don't. It's still fading out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that Tinder episode's coming up. We just get, Ryan, you gotta be ready to get fired.
You're coming with us. Who's coming with us?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's way too late with Alan Mosley.
Gotta get the episode uploaded. We gotta get to our listeners. So Robert. Yeah.
Gotta get it uploaded for Robert. You do a lot of extra work just for Robert.
Yeah.
Hope he appreciates it.
Yeah, no shit.